I'm back, people. Welcome to
That's how we start.
I'm back. Yep,
Yeah, forget the game.
Yeah.
Emily's back.
Pass
Welcome
the
back.
barbecue. You like that? I got that
I
line
like that.
from Flame's creative team is just on fire
Yeah,
lately
that was
with their
good.
graphics. If you haven't seen them, you need to go check it out
Made me
online.
hungry.
The Flames are 8-1. They have one of the best defenses in the country.
It's great to have you back.
It's so great to be back.
You're special. People like you.
Mhm.
Everything.
And this Flame Central podcast is powered by Alcova Mortgage.
Yes, it is.
Johnathan Bennett's a perfect 5-0 starter,
How about
and he is actually going to be on the podcast
Unbelievable.
this week.
Yeah.
Should Liberty be considered a Power 5 program? What's the status of Day-Day Hunter? What's the ceiling for this team?
There's a lot to get to.
A lot to get
You know
to.
what?
You just watched the film, though.
Before we get to any of that, we need to understand that this win, these last two wins, the BYU and the Arkansas win, were one. Let's address the elephant in the room, Matt Warner.
Okay.
Let's address
We're
it.
not afraid to do that.
We're not addressing that this win was for the university, first and foremost, for the coaches and for the players, right? Secondly, and for the fans, third. But there's a fourth element that we need to address too.
Alcova Mortgage?
No, we're pretty close. Pretty close. Let's go ahead and address the fact that we need to do a special segment on Joe Yock's bowl predictions today. I'm just going to go ahead and say it now.
You know what?
Hey, let's do a
We need to make
special
it 2
segment
minutes in.
for BYU and Arkansas
Let me tell you something.
bowl predictions.
I
Go
saw
ahead.
it.
I'm at church
Special segment.
where you should have been as well.
Maybe I went
And
earlier.
I'm getting blown up on my phone from Joe. Hey, post the clip. Post the clip. Like, I'm sitting there with it like, oh, yeah, Joe, I bring my laptop to church with me so I can just cut your little clips for you. What are you talking about?
Special segment on bowl predictions today, folks. Tune in. Stay tuned in.
Yeah, also stay tuned in for a great interview with quarterback Johnathan Bennett coming your way in just a moment. But first, I'll start with you, Joe, because you just seem fired up as
I'm
I am.
fired up, yeah.
You just watched the game film. What was your major takeaway from this ball game?
Yeah, I mean, offensively, the major takeaway was the game plan that Liberty had. And that was to really attack in the run game, to attack the right side of Arkansas's defense. They did a great job with their cross blocks. Offensive line knew who they were going to block, and they really went after the right side, Liberty's left side of their offensive line, right side of Arkansas's D-line. They did a great job there. And then the way that JB threw the ball out on the perimeter. I mean, there wasn't. That's where the action was, where they were available to be able to throw the ball. And then the absolute route running clinic that Demario Douglas put on.
Yeah.
I mean, he was turning them things, he was turning those DBs around like bottle tops. Defensively, the Liberty front seven went into the lunchroom, okay, at the local cafeteria. They took Arkansas, the whole O-line, they took all their lunch money. They threw them out. They ate lunch. And then they came back and they stole all their cookies too. I mean, it was total domination across the board, but they got after them. When you watch a game film and you see the end zone copy, they got after. It was a total dominating performance.
You're talking about one of the better rushing teams in the nation. Yeah. And after the first 4 possessions, negative 16 rush yards. Like, this D-line set the tone from the get-go. They took a homecoming crowd completely out of the ballgame. You always talk about, how hostile environment. Their hostile environment, like, they didn't know what to do. Like, it was dead. And that defensive line absolutely dominated. I love the stat, and our buddy Damian Sordelet told it to me earlier today, so if it's not accurate, take it up with Dame.
Damian
honestly, any
accurate.
complaints you have with the podcast in general, just go to Dame. Just
we
take
need
them up
one
with
of
Dame.
those segments at the end where it says where we were wrong and right and everything, but we don't.
14 tackles for loss. The most Arkansas had allowed since the 2002 Cotton Bowl. That is insane.
Can you repeat that one more time?
14 tackles for loss. The most Arkansas had allowed since the 2002 Cotton Bowl. 20 years.
So
20
crazy.
years.
Yeah, what Darrell Johnson and Trayshawn Clark did to their left tackle was
borderline. It's illegal in some states.
It was abuse. Yeah, it was. They did an unbelievable job. But then the other thing too is what defensively is where Liberty does a really good job, and this comes down to coaching. This is coaching in the fact that a lot of the teams now, they give you all the motions, they give you all the eye candy to get you flowing one way, then they go back the other way. Liberty's defensive coaches has done a great job of teaching their players that here's your response. You guys are responsible for this part of the field. You guys are responsible over here, and you guys are responsible over there. And if you're responsible over here, you don't need to make the play over there. It's when it comes back to you here. And so they do a great job of there's a balance, especially in the way that offensive football is run now. There's a balance in how aggressive you want to be, but you still have to be patient. Right. So there's a great aggression that Liberty played with, but at the same time, everybody knew their responsibilities, and they just go running around with their chicken head cut off and then getting beat over the top somewhere else. They were patient, then yet aggressive over here.
But you know what?
Well done.
You can't do that if the guys on that side of the field aren't getting the job done.
That's
right. Because then that's when you start being like, I need to do more.
Right.
But the guys, you talk about like, you always hear like gap integrity or all those kind of phrases of like doing your job. Yeah. If you're making the tackles, then those other guys don't have to worry about it. And that's what 100%. We've seen. We've seen all across that defense. You talked about it weeks ago. Every level of this defense, there's no weakness to it.
I know, they're a complete unit. And what's really cool that Aldridge was saying in his press conference earlier today, that these guys have like a competition with themselves because Dennis Asagade early on was getting a lot of sacks, and now some of the other guys, they're competing. And they love to hear these numbers that they're like leading the nation in all these categories or at the top of the nation.
He had a great line because someone was asking him, like, do they pay attention to the national stats and where they rank? And he's like, well, they do. He's like, but we just try to tell him, do your job. And he goes, and I promise you, at the end of the year, we'll have the biggest Southern Baptist party you can imagine to celebrate where we finished. But right now, just focus on your job.
Yeah, but it's just really cool. Aldridge said this is one of his most memorable wins in his coaching career.
Do you think the name Josh Aldridge, like you talk about young coaches in the profession, like his name should be out near the top of the list on the defensive side of the ball. What a job he's done. Jack Curtis as well. That pairing, you always wonder, how's that going to go? Yeah. It has been perfect. And credit both those guys for, and Aldridge even told us one time, like, yeah, you take a little bit of an ego check. Like, okay, like we're working together here. And those guys have done it. They haven't gone in there and tried to be like, no, my way or the highway. You haven't seen it. The way they've worked together has been flawless.
You know, a great way to judge a coach on defense is to say, okay, mental mistakes. And when you look at how many, because that mental mistakes, is there a lot of mental mistakes? Liberty you rarely see them have mental mistakes. And there's no you don't rarely see the wide open guys. And then what comes easy? When you play against Liberty's defense and you go throughout that whole game until the end where they were getting tired. Yes. They were getting tired.
So was that the reason in the fourth?
In the fourth, it was just the pressure that the big boys up front were getting gassed.
I mean, I was nervous.
But when you when you see Liberty's defense play when they're fresh, nothing comes easy. And a lot of that has to do with mentally, they know their assignments and they know where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Any other notes from you that you want to? I mean, I can't believe I haven't mentioned like Liberty's ranked that would it be lowest or the highest?
I say highest.
And I think highest too.
Yeah.
But then the lower numbers.
So you held them to 144 rush yards. Only Alabama has held them under 200 this year before Liberty, and I think that's the biggest win in program history.
Yeah. Would you say, or would you say BYU?
That's the biggest. You beat an SEC team.
Yeah. Right.
On the road.
A good team. They were playing
Homecoming.
Vanderbilt.
Oh my gosh! Can you guys?
Homecoming? Yeah.
Did you get to see all the Arkansas faces when you watched the game copy?
That was beautiful. All those classic shots from like on the field, looking up in the stands. You just get all these like.
I mean, depression.
Like people looking at each other, being like, "What is?" You know, you get all of that.
Here, I have a question for you guys who watched the TV part of it, which I didn't see. I only saw the highlights when I showed closely. What was it clear that he didn't get in on that 2-point conversion?
Yeah, it was.
Watching it live, I thought he was short. The best angle they had, you couldn't see because there was a player in between the camera and. But yes, I think it was the right call. It may have been 3 inches.
Yeah, I mean, when that player did move, you could tell that where his like shin or knee area was down, there was no way for his body.
Then there was a little second after.
Then there was a second.
So it was the right call. You feel confident?
I do feel like it was the right call. Has Arkansas? I haven't really like looked on social media. Are they saying that was the wrong
Not that
call?
I saw, but it was very.
It
close.
Was so close. I mean, so you would not want to go to overtime in that situation with how tired Liberty's defense.
Can I bring up the one thing that I had a problem with in this game?
Oh gosh.
The one issue I had.
I wonder where you're going with this.
And it was third quarter, first drive. Liberty gets down to what would have been a 33-yard field goal.
Kick field goal.
They go for it on 4th and 2.
Yeah.
Take the field goal.
Take field goal.
And it's not
Get the
just
3 points,
coaches now. We see it more on Sundays than anything else. I feel like it's almost like taking the points it's not in style anymore.
Yeah.
It's always, no, we end it here. We get the touchdown. We bury them. But in a game like that where Liberty was in total control,
take the points.
Take the points. And the last thing you want to do is give a little spark. The last thing you want to do is get that crowd back. Oh, we made a big play.
Yeah.
We're back into it. And obviously, as the game progressed, you're thinking, dang, it would have been nice to have those 3 points there at the end. But all credit to Liberty. They overcame that.
With an SEC team, you should have the talent and depth to beat a Liberty team. And I knew that momentum was coming at some point. So I was nervous. So when that call was made, I was like, oh, take the points, because you know that this is going to flip at some point.
This is now the 4th game this year, so half of Liberty's wins, that they've scored exactly 21 points.
Unbelievable.
That is insane.
Wow.
You score 21, like, I don't know what the numbers would be, or how ESPN has all those, like, the probabilities or whatever. I would have to think scoring 21 points this day and age in college football
isn't many.
I mean, probably
Look at, I mean, I would love to see what the average is
Yeah.
actually this season. Should have done some
Where's
research.
Damien? Where's Damien Sword?
I
Like,
know.
get him on that. Come on, Dame.
We'll get to an interview with Johnathan Bennett in just a moment, but I want to talk a little bit more about this offense. If you're Hugh Freeze, Charlie Brewer was available in this game. Salter is getting healthy, but do you just have to roll with JB? Because, I mean, he just had 2 of the biggest wins in program history.
I think the beautiful thing if you're Hugh Freeze is you don't have to make just an all-out commitment, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can go into it with it's JB's job. It's he's led him to 5 straight wins. But you know what? At the same time, if Caden Salter gets healthy, he provides something JB doesn't have. And if you need him in a pinch, you're at a place where you say, I hope we all understand where we're at here, but if we need to make a move in game to find a spark or get some, we're prepared to do that. But yeah, JB has every opportunity at this point to take it the rest of the way. It's his to lose at this point.
Ask it one more time.
Well, here's the thing, because obviously everybody.
Ask it one more time.
Do you think that Hugh Freeze can sit Johnathan Bennett right now?
No, you said no. I say I'm with Matt. Okay, from the fact that if he was to.
Am I asking the question wrong? Why are you saying no so quietly like that?
It's a little different. Okay, so what Matt said is that if he struggles, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
JB stepped up in BYU, unbelievable job. JB stepped up against Arkansas, unbelievable job. This job is 100% JB's job right now, and I fully expect him to command the ship the rest of the way, all the way through.
And
he's playing so well. And when you have him on here, just congratulate him, especially. Like, the next step for a quarterback is pocket presence. His pocket presence against BYU was fantastic. His pocket presence, the ball that he threw to Sibley for the touchdown, pocket presence. He could have very easily panicked, thrown that ball away. He held on to it for just a second as it was collapsing, and then made the throw for a touchdown, which was a huge play.
I think that was even the one where it's like
in the game.
Where not only do you see it, because sometimes I feel like, and you could tell me more, but I feel like as a quarterback sometimes you see it, but you don't notice the details. Like on that play, you saw there was a guy covering Sibley up, but the next level is his back is turned.
Right.
So he's there, but his back is turned to me. So I can make that pass and give my receiver a chance to make the play, which he did. So it's like those next level things that it feels like he's starting
and
to
holding the ball for that. And he started to be. It's almost like, and I like to talk to Coach Freeze about it. I'm sure he'd verify this. It's like finally a light switch went off. It's like it turned on, and it was like, okay, I don't have to panic. I can hold it. I can hold the ball just a little bit longer if the pocket's not collapsing on me, and then I can find that next guy. And he did against BYU, and he did against Arkansas. His pocket presence has really improved.
Well, and that might be because he's accepting Coach Freeze's coaching better.
He said that.
Freeze has been very open and honest about, like, it's been difficult to coach these guys and not get frustrated. But I think JB is finally taking.
They're learning each other.
Yeah, right. Which is a process, and coaches had to do that with 3 different guys, 4 different guys this year.
What I think that JB is finally just taking it.
Yeah.
He's realized that Coach Freeze said, hey, I'm going to coach you, and you just got to take it. Yeah. And he's accepted that, and he's rolling with it, and he's become a lot better quarterback.
You can see it. He's grown so much.
Yeah.
And maybe one of the more impressive things about what this game was is you did it all with Day Hunter being on the sidelines. Like, Joe, you need to take that.
Yeah, I mean, he is
Powered
really
by
easy.
Alcova Mortgage.
He's actually really easy to get a hold
You
of.
need to call someone
let's
for a
go.
home
Hit it
loan.
right now.
He is so easy to get a hold of.
Thank you, Emily. Matt and I have been making fun of you.
No way. When?
No. Why would we do that?
So if you want to get a hold of the man of the hour, Joe Yock, he powers this Flame Central podcast by Alcova Mortgage.
Yeah.
How do we get a hold of you, Joe?
Hey, just
this is
go.
Where you pick up.
This is where I pick up, and we just go on that. What do we do, Emily? We
go on the Google machine.
Go on the Google machine. Joe Yock, Jauch.
There you go. Find it.
There you go. Google me.
J.
Fly online.
AUCH.
Oh, look at that old school cheerleader.
No, actually, never was on the team.
Never made the team.
No. Why does she sound like a guy? All right. So we will get to the Johnathan Bennett in just one moment. Do we have an update on Day Hunter?
Yeah, MRI today, according to Hugh Freeze. So we'll see how it goes. That would be a huge loss. Huge loss. We've seen what he's meant to this offense. My question would be, and I didn't get a chance to squeeze it into Freeze today, but my question would be, if he's not available and Shedro Lewis slides up into the RB1 spot, which, by the way, Shedro wasn't supposed to be on the trip.
I know.
His dad unfortunately passed away. And what guts. You talk about guts, like to end up deciding to go.
That's tough.
Which ended up being very fortunate for Liberty. But then, like, credit that kid. Going out there and battling with who knows what, what you're feeling in a situation like that.
Imagine.
All credit to Shedro Lewis and his toughness there. But if he slides up into that top running back spot, does Hugh Freeze trust TJ Green enough to give him the carries that would have gone to Shedro? Because we haven't seen it to this point in the year since TJ's returned from injury. So that's a big question.
And
who's that next guy?
Yeah, the amazing thing is TJ Green, correct me if I'm wrong here, Matt, but TJ Green led the Flames in rushing.
He like 6 yards a carry.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that he is. I mean, you got to go Shedro on TJ to step out. TJ needs to get it rolling.
Yeah.
Not sure if that's injury related or just
the injury
factor, but
the
injury kept him out, I believe, the first 4 or 5 games. So
we've hardly seen him since.
So
can I say one thing?
But there has been such a rrhythm with those other two guys.
No doubt.
So
what carries are you going to want to give to him?
That's a huge question mark.
Coaches always say, stay ready.
Stay ready, baby.
Stay ready, and your time's going to come.
You're going to complain about playing time. If you are complaining about playing time, no time to complain now.
Prayers up.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, one thing I want to say. I know you didn't listen to the TV broadcast.
No.
I want to say something real fast about Aaron Murray, who was on the call.
Aaron Murray.
Former Georgia quarterback, one of the great SEC quarterbacks. He had some garbage stuff that he said in this game.
He did?
Let me just say the biggest thing that annoyed me. This is the one that got me a little fired up. You had Demario Douglas just having a monster game. What did he finish? 145 yards receiving on 10 catches.
Man, it looks silly.
Late in the game, he had a catch, and Aaron Murray made a comment about, oh man, you may well see this guy in the transfer portal after a game like this. Basically making the comment that like, oh, he'll go play at a real school because he's doing this against Arkansas. That's a comment as a broadcaster I don't think you should make.
Tell him who would never make that comment.
Joe Yock would never make that comment. Like, that's just like a slight to an opponent, by the way, that's putting it on Arkansas at that point. That's just like I just don't like that. That's basically you're insulting Liberty. And then I also didn't like, they talked about the Auburn stuff during the game, which that's a storyline.
That's a storyline.
I'm okay with that.
That's a fair game.
But like the clock hits 0 and like the first words, I don't remember if it was Murray or that play-by-play guy, like the first words out of their mouth are, well, the Auburn folks are going to love this. It's like, this isn't like sports talk.
Let them have their moment.
Let them have their moment.
Let them have their moment.
And I understand it was SEC Network and all of that, but I just felt like there were a few comments and a few things like that where normally I don't take it that personal, like, just whatever. But those were some where I'm like, I just don't know if that's a professional approach as a broadcaster in how you handle those situations. Like, let them have their moment. I know, like, just speaking for us, we try to hype up the other team as not over the top, but we try to give them as much credit as they are due. How much did we talk about Gardner-Webb? Were we saying about that Gardner-Webb receiver that went off, like, well, I guess we won't be seeing him with the Bulldogs next year after a performance like this? You know what I mean? No, you wouldn't say that because you're just slamming the team.
You gotta look at
it's garbage.
That was a little awkward. I remember hearing that. That was a little awkward.
You were rolling on that.
Well, it was just
you
bad.
You were rolling on that.
No, that is true though. I mean, and what is that what the transfer portal was set up to be? I don't think so.
Let me tell you something. You know
Because
why he
I
can
don't
roll
think
on
that
this?
should be.
You know why he can roll on this?
Because he's Matt Warner.
Because he's America's broadcaster.
Well,
That's why.
I also heard
Okay.
Ann Murray had the Georgia game on his TV during the broadcast as well, so he was watching the Georgia
Oh,
broadcast.
stop it!
I have
What?
good
You sound like
I
national
have a
treasure.
well-positioned
Now we're
source
just
that told me that.
skeptical.
I'm
you
just
know?
telling you what I
Sunshine
hear.
broadcast powered
by Alcova
Alcova.
Powered by
Yeah.
Alcova Mortgage. Okay, is
That was beautiful.
No.
/ should Liberty be considered a Power 5 program?
Like, I don't know how you do.
What is that?
No, what is that? I think Freeze answered the question. He was asked that today very well when he said, I would be interested to see how we would handle doing it week after week, because that's the thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the thing that people always forget about, or they kind of just like brush to the side, is it's not the same when you're doing it week after week after week. There is an accumulated effect of going through that grind.
Depth and talent.
Depth and talent. And while Liberty obviously is very talented and much deeper than they've ever been, doing that week after week in the SEC, that's a different ballgame. Now, Freeze also said, hey, you put us in the ACC.
Correct.
We're then able to recruit at another level, and then it's different.
Yeah.
So you can't really make that comparison. But yes, doing it week in, week out, it is a different animal than what Liberty's been able to do right now.
Yeah, and just the recruiting
Well,
factor of recruiting a Power 5. I'm not saying that we don't have athletes on this team that are
they
Power
have
5 level athletes.
Aaron Murray thinks so.
But but like being able to recruit, saying you're a Power 5 is just you're in a whole different ballgame.
Now that goes back to what Matt said. It's a depth issue.
Yeah.
Okay, when you go and you look at Liberty, especially defensively, there's going to be a lot of NFL scouts in here. Okay, Kenny Charles is an animal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how long has he been playing football?
I mean,
it hasn't been
not
longer than
long,
like
yeah.
5 years because he came from Haiti after one of the earthquakes there.
Yeah.
You
It's just
think you think
incredible.
about this from a talent level, like there is Liberty's Power 5 talent right now, and the first teamers.
Well, Wake Forest head coach said it after that.
But you go
after that
Kenny
game.
Charles, you go Darrell Johnson, you go
Trayshawn.
Trayshawn Clark, you go Mike Smith,
Yeah.
you go Ahmad Walker.
Yeah.
Okay, you go Rocket Rahimi and Javon Scruggs. Whether that's playing in the NFL or a Frankie Hickson type playing in the CFL, those dudes right there are going to get paid to play football. And there is a lot of Power 5 talent on Liberty's starting defense, especially. And then you can go over the offense, talk about Demario Douglas and, Day Hunter, so on and so forth.
18 or 19 in the nation. I think I saw.
Was it 19?
Is it 19? 19 in the nation. The Flames are heading to UConn next. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But first, let's go to our conversation with perfect 5-0 starter, Johnathan Bennett.
100%.
Some say he's the Michael Jordan of Liberty.
Flu game.
Flu game.
Johnathan Bennett flu game.
Johnathan Bennett flu game.
It's going to be like going on Liberty history, right?
Right.
When people think about the Arkansas game, they're going to think about it like
100%. Get the books out. The last 2 victories are definitely going down in the history books. 2 of the biggest wins in school history. Big reason why is Johnathan Bennett. 5-0 as a starter. Do you think it's really set in yet, having these 2 huge wins over BYU and Arkansas?
I think the BYU one has a little bit. Just going around Lynchburg, seeing all the fans happy, and going to church, and just everybody saying congratulations. It was awesome. I think that one has, but I don't know if Arkansas has yet. We got another one against a good UConn team next week, so we want to make sure we're prepared mentally for that one. But
All right, so we talked about the flu game. We found out Thursday, Hugh Freeze said, JB has the flu. We don't really know what his status is going to be. How healthy were you on Saturday? And how prepared did you feel going into that ballgame?
I felt prepared. I still watch the film. Still watch. I still got my mental reps. Over the phone at home. But physically, I had the coughs. I was sniffling. The whole game, but sore throat. But it's all right. We got it done.
Okay. Yeah, you got it done. Yeah, you did just fine.
That's a very humble way of putting it. What do you think has been the biggest area of growth that you've seen in your game this season? It's been a lot of adversity thrown at you.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's just been a combination of listening and then putting my pride to the side, just not letting stuff get in the way of what we have to do. So, I think, I think the team culture is really nice right now. And we're all behind each other no matter who's on the field. So, that's been a big part of it too.
As a competitor, you want to be out there all the time. And in this season, you had to experience, okay, didn't get it initially. And then there were those times, whether it was in game where it's like, JB, come to the side. Yeah, what? How did you kind of maintain that mental focus? Because it'd be easy to just kind of go in the tank at that point and just, pout, whatever. How did you kind of find a way to deal with it and come out on the other side? Now, she said the stats 5-0 as a starter.
Yeah, so Coach Freeze said a quote today, which I feel like I related to a lot. He was saying, our commitment has to be stronger than our feelings. And then once that happens, then you'll get the results that you prayed for and worked for. So, I mean, I didn't play well, haven't played well, honestly, for the latter part of the year, besides these, last 2 games I played all right. But just continuing to work, the process is the same, over and over, whether you win or lose, do bad, do good, process is the same no matter what.
We might need to get that saying. Our graphics guy to like get that saying and get something like painted on the walls of the Flame Central Studios. Yeah.
Okay.
Repeat it one more time. Our commitment is
your commitment has to be greater than your feelings, and when that happens, you'll start to see the results.
I'm an emotional wreck. Okay. So, moving forward, with this season, and Coach Freeze has been very vocal about his frustrations and like how to coach each different guy differently. How difficult or easy has it been learning Coach Freeze and his coaching style and accepting that, right?
Yeah, it's a hard one. He's on you. Because he's a great coach. He's seen a bunch of things. He's seen a bunch of defenses and stuff like that. So it's been different, but it's been good too. Because I think me and him are starting to see eye to eye a little bit more, and still some things to clean up. Obviously, we only put 21 points on the board, and we left a couple of touchdowns out there. But still some things to clean up. But I think Coach Freeze is really just showing me the right way to do things, and I'm taking it better than I was the past years and even earlier this year.
Is there a different ownership level from you now? It's one thing when it's like, hey, you're coming in here, Malik gets hurt against North Texas, you're plugged in there, whereas it's now like, now we're all looking at you to lead the team. It's not just, hey, you're filling in for this for who knows how long, but it's like, this is your show. Does it feel different for you knowing that as opposed to what it's been in the past, which has been like, hey, we need you for a quarter?
I'm not sure. It's still a week-by-week process, and the process stays the same. And whether I go out there or not, I'm going to prepare the same way, and I'm going to work the same way, and then I'll be ready whenever I have to go in.
You hear quarterbacks talk about the game slowing down. Do you feel that weekend now? And like it's been harder for you in some ways because the level of competition as you've gone, and I guess you would think things will start slowing down. Well, but it's Arkansas on the other side, But do you see that? Does it feel that way for you?
Yeah, I do feel like the game is slowing down a little bit. Preparing a different way, because of the different things that we're installing. So seeing it, and then I think like seeing it play out. Because we they put film in there, and if you actually take the time to watch the film, you'll see how this could work. Yeah. So, yeah, I am.
Talk to me about this quarterback room, because I feel like we've known about the competition in this position group since fall, right? Between you 4 guys. I know you have to put your ego aside at times, but what's the relationship like with you guys?
Oh, we're close. We're a close group, and we all support each other no matter what. Like, Caden texted me before the game, and me and Charlie are talking on the sidelines. Me and Nate, we played golf yesterday, so it's like we're all a close group. There's not really like there's competition, obviously, but it's not a bad competition. It's a really good competition. So
how sweet was the silence at Arkansas? Like you, it's nice. You're going in, everyone's like hostile environment, SEC. All the woo pig suey garbage, and just to shut that down. How sweet was that?
It was fun. It's always fun, winning on the road, especially in like that magnitude. But yeah, it was nice. It was really nice. After we score, just hearing our sideline and our little section in Arkansas going crazy. So that was fun.
This team has given me a heart attack at times where, I get a little nervous, but I do believe in you guys. Don't worry. I do believe in you guys. Yeah. Talk to me about like what's special. What's the special ingredient if you're like smoking some pulled pork, let's say? I don't know.
Okay. I see what you're doing. Yeah.
What is special about this team that, not hating on other teams since you've been here, but what makes this team different?
I think our culture is
Established.
established. Yes, we we got some old guys on the team, including myself, but we got some older guys on the team well, Coach Freeze really said it. Then we just are the watchmen, as he said, like at the beginning of the year, over the team. So I think we're doing a good job, and Coach is doing a good job of upholding the standard and the culture that we have set for our team.
Last thing for me, you look at this and you talked about this good UConn team you guys are going to play now. This has, and we talked about earlier, all the makings of what people would say, oh, that looks like one of those trap games, right? Mm-hmm. Coming off a big emotional win. You have another huge opponent on the other side. And then there's little UConn here who's, won 3 games in the previous 3 years or whatever it's been. How do you, as one of the leaders, how do you make sure that they get the amount of respect and the amount of attention this week in the lead up that they deserve?
Yeah, so I think it started today, and Coach Freeze highlighted it. Like, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna just because think we beat BYU and Arkansas, we've arrived. We're 19th in the country. All this stuff. Nah, every game's the same. This one means the exact same as Arkansas does. Maybe not to everybody else, but to us in the room, it's the same game.
Give me some behind-the-scenes info, like something funny that this team does, like on the road, or do you guys have any good inside joke?
Let me see. Our team is hilarious. Oh, man, I think the D-line room and the offensive line room might be the funniest 2 rooms in the entire team. They got a lot of personality in those 2 rooms.
Yeah.
Like from Kendi Charles to Reverend Seven.
Yeah.
Enough said.
To John Curtis and Brendan.
Yeah.
We got a lot of personality, and it's fun. It's fun to be
a few of those guys were in our pie eating contest, our 3rd annual Liberty Football Pie Eating Contest.
I need to see Curtis in that.
Yeah, stay tuned for that.
I need to see John Curtis in that, yes.
Oh, yeah, John Curtis is featured in that. Last question from me. How do you think, since you arrived and stepped foot here on Liberty's campus, how do you think you've grown as a man and just off the field?
I think, I got here, I was 17 years old, just a kid from high school wanting to, just play football. But I feel like over the time I realized life is more, this is more important than just what happens on the football field. I said it earlier, everybody's gonna forget the touchdowns, but they're gonna remember how the type of person you were and how you made them feel whenever they interacted with you. So that's what I want to do every day.
Well, I can say, since you arrived on campus, all I've ever heard from anyone that has come in contact with you has been, man, that JB is a great dude. That's a great guy. And so now to see the success you're having on the field, knowing how many people are rooting for you because of the interactions they've had with you, that's made this season all the more sweet, seeing that the hard work's paying off and you love cheering for a guy that you know is a good dude. So congrats on all the success.
Thank you.
Matt and Joe tell me to live in the moment all the time. I have a hard time with that, but I'm so excited I want this season to go as long as possible, obviously, and cherish every moment. But it's going to be so cool to see how much you've accomplished since that freak accident you had, and just reflecting on that.
Yeah.
I mean,
after the game, me and I think it was Rocket, he did like this. I was like,
Keep those feet on the ground. Keep those feet on the ground, JB.
All right.
We've had enough injuries this year too.
Just give him
a little.
We'll be all right.
We'll be good. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for your time. We are always rooting for you in the Flames. Such a great season so far. You guys have been so much fun to watch.
Thank you.
Not sure who else the Flames would want leading their team on and off the field. This guy, Johnathan, JB is just the man. He's the man.
Ever since he arrived on campus, I can't tell you how many different people have told me, what a great guy. I met that Johnathan Bennett. What a great guy. And you heard that forever, right? And they said, oh yeah, he's great, great guy, solid backup from Malik, all that stuff. Well, now he's a great guy, and he's playing great as well. And so you're so happy to see it for him because you know the work he's put in and the type of person he is.
His ability to overcome the adversity that he's had to overcome here.
No doubt.
You think of the injury that he had, the freak knee injury, having to rehab from that, and then you're buried on the depth chart, but you keep grinding, you keep playing, and then you come in and everybody wants you out, right? And he was hot and cold, and then it was, once again, it was like the light switch went on against BYU. And then from that point forth, he's like, it's just, you're so happy for the young man just because of all the he's everything that is right.
I mean, if you want to see a genuine smile, go to Twitter, and there's a picture that he posted of himself, he and Coach Freeze, and it is just like the coolest picture ever. You just pure happiness on his face.
They got the mojo cooking, baby. Coach Freeze, JB.
Is that what's Day? What was he saying?
Get jiggy with it.
The get jiggy with it. All right. We'll keep you posted on on Day's status. Another road test, a little bit of a different opponent, but listening to Coach Freeze during his press conference today, they're really well coached and they're really hungry for a win.
This game, UConn, if you want to go, okay, what are the factors that go into calling a game a trap game? You could say a couple of things.
Oh, this is coaching. He says that coaches do this all on the now Matt Warner's falling in the trap.
No, listen.
Okay.
So you're coming off a huge win.
Yeah, it's tough. On the road.
On the road, you're doing that. The following week, a huge opponent, Virginia Tech, the next game coming up.
So you've got
it before and after.
You got it before and after.
A team that historically has been terrible. So you're like, oh, UConn, all I know about them is they're awful.
Yeah.
That's their history, at least in recent years. Yeah. So you've got that factor. So all those things kind of feed into, also think about the physical toll that playing against an Arkansas team.
This almost sounds like a children's book, doesn't it?
There's a lot of factors that go in to this being a trap game.
Yeah.
And, by the way, UConn's actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
You see what they've done lately? They've won 4 of 5. They're 5 and 5 on the year, and they're incredibly motivated.
Do you have their wins?
Yeah, I can pull them up for you. So they've won 4 of their last 5, and here's what those have been.
And they're 5 and 5, so they're playing for a bowl game.
Right, and
which would be unreal.
This is the most wins they've had since 2015. More wins this year than they've had the last 3 seasons combined. They beat UMass. They beat.
There's a good win in here. I remember.
They beat UMass. They beat Boston College 13-3. Right.
Boston College. That was Boston College.
They beat FIU. They beat Fresno State.
FIU.
State.
So there you go. So those are 4 of the last 5. Here's the other thing. They're 4-1 at home.
Jim Mora is
there. Coach first year.
Yeah.
Freeze says it feels like his first year here. People are starting to believe.
Yeah.
Like he's changing the culture. Their defense in those last 5 games have given up 12.8 points per game. Their defense has been playing very well. They held that Boston College team to 3 points.
Yeah.
3 points. So there are some reasons to be like, okay, this is not going to be a cakewalk. This is not UMass. Don't get confused. You're going to have to bring a good game. One thing I will say, they can't pass the ball worth a lick. 105 yards a game, throwing the ball. They're a run-first offense, which you would say would be advantageous for Liberty the way they just shut down the best rushing attack or one of the best rushing attacks in the country. Yeah. So that'll be critical.
A positive for Liberty as far as defense is Coach Aldridge said they're a little nicked up, but they should have a full squad ready to play on Saturday. So
sounds like offensively they're certainly Day being the main piece that could be. Yeah.
Yeah, but I know it's 100% JB's job, and I want, I'm super happy for him, but it will be nice for Coach Freeze to have some options if that defense shuts down what JB's trying to do. Okay, you want to get to the bold predictions?
Oh, I mean, this segment should have happened a lot earlier.
Okay, well then let's put that on pause for just a moment because Liberty's field hockey.
Oh yeah, throw it out there.
Oh yeah,
okay,
I saw that.
So selection show was last night. This makes me a little nervous.
Saw the goal for the win.
Yeah.
What was it? The semifinal game. Maryland. They are definitely going to be coming for some revenge because obviously Liberty went on to win that and went to the national championship game last season. But on the road at College Park.
Hey, just props for field hockey making it back. This was a different team. They had some injuries they had to fight through. It was not an easy season. They didn't roll their way like they did last season.
Right.
They had a lot of adversity they had to overcome. But you know what?
Go ahead.
You know what, Joe? It's that championship pedigree.
Hey,
that's what it is.
You know what? There are lessons in losing. There are lessons in losing.
Wow, that's good.
That sounds like an Emily. Sounds like an Emily Austin segment right there. Lessons in losing.
Name autobiography.
Don't follow me, kids.
Lessons in losing.
Yeah.
Bold predictions. Get to it. Let's go.
All right. I'm trying to give some love to field hockey, but there's an awesome picture of Nikki in the girls like dumping the Gatorade bath.
Do you want the Flames fantasy scoreboard?
Yeah.
I've got that for you.
Get anything except
I had to rack it up.
Yeah. So, all right,
Darrell Johnson crushed it.
She did. Yeah, he did. 19 points for you, Emily, to lead the way. 27.4 points is what you put up. So you're up to 320 on the year.
Emily was leading the way?
On the year? Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm talking about for the day.
Yeah, okay, I'm getting there. Joe, you did outscore her. You had 31.6, so you by like about 4 points.
Did he break 100 yet?
He's at 250.
Yeah.
Demario Douglas, 23.2 points, led the way. Javon Scruggs was solid for you as well. I scored 23.6, lowest of the week.
Oh,
it was pretty balanced. Ahmad Walker led the way for me with 9.5 points. I'm at 272.9, so I'm still about, M's looking pretty strong right now, almost 50 points up.
I mean, should I get my crown fitted?
All right, just don't worry about it. Go to bold predictions.
So we're about out of time. All right, we about out of time for this?
No.
If only
if
Alcova Mortgage
only
put
we
out
had the
all the
time.
things we have.
The folks tuned in early.
They only powered
They got
the first
it, and
30
then
minutes,
you always had the biggest thing at the very end, right? Just everybody hang on. So go ahead.
Did he really?
So here's the thing.
Go ahead. So let's start with.
My bold prediction.
Go back to BYU.
Go
back to BYU. One more time for BYU. One more time.
I don't have that written down. What was that one?
That I predicted them to win.
Oh, right.
To beat BYU. Nobody else did.
All right.
That's first one. Get that one out of the way.
Arkansas
now
game.
Go to this one.
I predicted Javon Scruggs with a pick 6, and then Arkansas narrow win 35-27.
Arkansas wins 35-27.
Right.
Okay.
Joe predicted.
No, go to Emily next.
She didn't do one. She wasn't here.
Oh, she wasn't here. That's right. I forgot about that. She wasn't here. Go ahead. Don't.
She predicted 14 tackles for loss.
I did.
100%. What is it?
Joe said.
Get ready, folks. Get ready.
Day Hunter over 100 yards. Complete miss.
Well, no, he got injured. But
okay. Oh, yeah, that's part of the game. No, Joe did say.
Okay, listen, folks.
Johnathan Bennett, 3 touchdown passes.
And?
Liberty to win 38-35.
That's why they call it the Yaka motion, baby.
And, yeah.
3 TDs. Picked him 3 TDs.
Here's the thing.
Notre Joey Damas, they call me.
You know what I need to do? Because Joe doesn't remember these as soon as he walks out of the studio.
I know.
Is I should change them. If I told him, he said,
"You're right."
Shedro Lewis 3 touchdown runs, he'd believe me. I should have just changed it, and we wouldn't have to live through this.
Predictions,
Yeah. That's just.
That is as solid as
this
it can
thing
get.
has completely
3 TDs.
lost.
Flames win. Who would make that call? Oh, Joe Yaka would. That's who.
I mean, I really am.
Hey, Warren, you know I say that?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not saying I don't believe in Liberty, but I am shocked that they got these 2 wins over BYU and Arkansas.
Yeah.
And I think I'm even more shocked that you picked Liberty to win both of those games.
You know what I'm not? What I'm most shocked about with Liberty is these aren't fluke.
No.
These aren't fluke. What I'm most shocked about is when you watch them on film is the level of talent that they're playing with. They can compete and beat these teams. It's not a fluke. It's good coaching, and it's players who can play. That's how you win these games. It's not a fluke.
Where is our level of concern? And was this an audition for Hugh Freeze to go to Auburn?
Oh, why? We almost made it through the whole show with this. Yeah, you and Aaron Murray go talk about it. No. Why do you do this? And she always starts this. Oh, like I just. Oh, no. Yeah, come on.
You know what? You're always.
We're top 20 in the nation.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Just be where your feet are, Emily Austin. Yeah. Make that your autobiography.
Focus on bold predictions. Focus on bold predictions.
Be in the now.
Oh, we better do some bold predictions.
Okay, bold predictions.
Oh my gosh, I got to think of mine. Go ahead, Joe.
What do you got, Joe?
All right, so my bold prediction for this he hasn't done.
Write this down,
I'm gonna type it in. That way I actually save it.
Oh my gosh.
All right, go ahead, Joe.
Okay, my bold prediction is that's the Flames winning is not a bold prediction. I think how many point favorites are they? 14.
Open is a 14 point.
14. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, my bold prediction is he hasn't done it yet.
Yeah.
He's gonna do it against UConn. Demario Douglas to the crib.
Punt
return to the crib. House party.
Okay. I'm going to do Shedro Lewis. Shedro.
You say Shedro, I say Shedro.
Yeah.
You say tomato, I say tomato.
Lewis is going to have 3 rushing touchdowns.
Whoa.
And over 150 yards.
That's pretty good for
Whoa. You didn't just stop at 3 TDs.
Yeah.
Over $150.
Just making it up.
Yeah, he's motivated right now. And, especially if Day-Day's out, then that little speed deemer.
I'm going to say we're going to finally see, I know he's been dinged up, Caleb Snead breakout.
Come on, Snead.
100 yards.
Come on,
touchdown.
Snead's my guy.
Here, you know why Matt did that? Oh, is he on your team?
No, he's not.
No. Okay,
so
this
is
is
Heritage High School.
This is Matt
What is
speaking
this?
something into existence to help with his fantasy team.
Sure. I mean, listen, I just want
always
the
an alternative.
I just want the best for the kid.
There's always alternatives.
I just want the best for him and the Flames. That's all I want.
And your fantasy.
And
team.
he
if
wants.
that happens to
I'm
be
gonna
a side effect or an addition to, sure, I'll take it.
I'm gonna get my
Give him the rock.
crown, my Flames fantasy crown, fitted this week because it's over, boys. All right, are we? Any final thoughts before we?
A heck of a ride.
Yeah.
What a heck of a ride. It has been a lot of fun. Hopefully, like you said, that with this being a game that they finish out, you get UConn, take care of business.
Take care of business.
And then
Virginia Tech coming to Williams Stadium, noon kickoff. Guess who's on the call?
Oh!
Yeah. It's your favorite podcasting crew. We're ready.
Is it the Yakamotion?
Yeah.
No, that's not. Nah, well, that's not.
It's just the high groove like this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you take it easy.
All right, thanks so much for listening, and I'm sorry if you are watching because those
dances were.
Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage. We can't thank you enough, and looking forward to discussing another big victory from the Flames
Let's do it
this time next week.